Yeah, hi. This just came in yesterday. It was posted on Yelp, and it is about the um, El Cajon Community Clinic of Family Healthcare Centers of San Diego. That is what this playlist is about. We're giving voice to people who use this community clinic and have suffered abuses or rude treatment there, which is very, very common. Um, the entire channel, this channel is called My Mental Health Journey Nightmare, excuse me, horror story. I debated back and forth. I still am debating back and forth whether it's a nightmare or a horror story. It actually is both. But for now, I'm going with horror story. And that's a horror story I have to tell, but I haven't done it yet. But I wanted to get these reviews underway because they're important. And people are just crying out for help. And they're going to these review sites because there's no place else to go. As we'll go into, as I have learned, the complaint system, whatever you want to call it, grievance system, when something goes wrong, uh, it is completely dysfunctional at best. I think it's rigged, but let's table that for a bit and talk about this post. This is from Araceli Gaines, and I probably just murdered her name. My apologies. But she says she doesn't usually give poor reviews, but this one is well earned. So right off the bat, that's kind of a good point. Um, a lot of people don't even know these review sites even exist. If you have a complaint about family healthcare centers, you might complain to your insurance company. You might put it on your patient portal. You might try to call people, or you might do something more official. You might do the complaint form on their website, which will go to an organization called, I'm forgetting the name, Joint Commission, I believe, which is their accreditation agency. However, that organization works for them. Sort of like the how Wall Street use the ratings agencies to do their scams. I'm not saying Joint Commission is a scam, but they are working in the interests of family healthcare centers, not you. So I don't know if there really is a complaining place. I would say every person like Araceli, I don't know what killed that name. I think there's at least 1,000 others, maybe more, because most people don't even know these exist. If they do, they don't get the energy. But what she says is that 16 days ago, she went for lab work for a 3-month follow-up, and for a third time in the year, she wasn't in the system. It sounds to me like she went in all 3 times for meetings. It's horrible. This time she said she couldn't wait more than 45 minutes. It's an 18 miles round trip. She went home and took her time to write an email provider and cancel the appointment. I don't mean she meant she like was relaxed while she was writing the email. She means she had to take her time to sit down and compose an email, which is not trivial. You know, it's maybe a 20-minute job, but you think about it before, you think about it after, you have to dig up stuff. You know, that's at least an hour, usually. Depending on what it could be more, depending on what happened, what you have to say. But that's not trivial. So they waste their time making even that. Today I heard from them, demanded by whoever's on the phone, data when I can get back and get blood work because the order was finally made. Well, of course you had to have that done. Not sure why whoever calls patients has to be rude, because that's their culture. They don't consider you anything more than a billing object, and you've caused problems for them. You're just supposed to go, wait early, wait for your appointment, and they're probably late, sometimes real late. So they waste whole days, sometimes even cancel after wasting whole days like that. But let's continue before I rant too much about this. The provider responded that the lab order was not made in May, but now is there. Okay, here's a kicker question. I'm not sure what the purpose of an appointment for September 1st if she wasn't going to review the lab results because they weren't there. Well, the purpose, Araceli, is billing your insurance company. It had nothing to do with you. They didn't mind that they wasted your time. You're just an entity. I mean, you're a billing entity. If whatever. If you were a bunch of dogs lining up and they could process quickly, that'd be the same to them. Okay, but here she comes up with a really, really good idea. A few years ago, I billed the PCP who wasted my time. I used to live in a different city, had different insurance too. Your staff did not give a favor to patients by doing their work. I'm not sure what she means by that. Our time is as valuable as any staff at the service. Damn straight, man. They do not believe that in their heart and soul. They believe your time is worth nothing. Not a personal, but you must provide some customer service. Um, that's overly polite, in my opinion. Thank you for reading my long comments. They weren't that long. It's a good post. They don't care, but someday maybe someone will care there. We haven't found that person yet, a person in influence. Everybody seems to be willing to let this garbage can excuse for a community clinic operate above the law or beyond the law. But I want to like real quick mention the real good point she made. A few years ago, I billed a PCP who wasted my time. Do that. That's a great idea because they don't get this content. Send them an invoice for, I mean, for her, that's a lot of time. 18-mile round trip. Charge her and mileage. Charge them whatever I don't know, 20 cents per mile. That was probably 80 years ago. Whatever it is now. Charge them that and the time. Send them a damn invoice. If they don't respond in 30 days, take them to small claims court. This is new ideas. These are great new ideas. They've got to get people suing back. They have lawyers. Oh, what I was going to say is, you see a lot of threats of lawsuits, but they have lawyers willing to lie and cheat. Mulvaney and Associates, especially, really dishonest law firm with unlimited government money. So you might lose, but things will get on people's records. Eventually somebody, funds this place will notice. But I think that is a wonderful idea. I thank you for that. And we need to get together and do things to fight back against this garbage they're laying on us. Thanks for listening.